U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar visited Robbinsdale on Friday to highlight a project that aims to help veterans in need.
They went and served their country. They should be taken care of by their country. And we want to do everything that we can to try to secure federal resources so that Minnesota can do its part.
The Minnesota Assistance Council for Veterans is turning the former Robin Hotel at 41st and Hubbard into housing for homeless veterans. Omar presented project officials with a check for $750,000 to use for renovations at the building. The more than 100-year-old structure is expected to house 16 vets until it's remodeled. They can use the building as transitional housing or as a permanent place to stay.
It does need some extensive demolition and rehab to be a safe and dignified place for veterans to live.
The Minnesota Assistance Council for Veterans hopes to have the building remodeled in about a year. Veterans Day is this Saturday, and one Maple Grove gym took on a challenge to support those who served. F45's training coaches completed 2,000 burpees to raise money for vets. The rules were simple. $1 donated equals 1 burpee. Josh Vogel, a military VIP intern at F45, was one staff member who stepped up.
Start knocking those burpees one at a time. There ain't nothing to it but to do it. So once we get started, you know, every burpee is one closer to the goal. So I'm pumped, ready to go.
Half of the money raised will benefit people like Vogel, a Navy sailor who's taking part in the SkillBridge program. That program helps service members transition from the service to civilian life.
He understands sacrifice for one and working super hard and helping people. And that's what we're all about here too.
Army National Guard and Navy recruiters were also present. Vogel encourages anyone interested in the service to get involved. A new restaurant and bar plans to open in Brooklyn Park. The owner says they'll serve soul food with a twist. A restaurant named Plush is planning to open in the strip mall of Edinburgh Center Drive. The Brooklyn Park Planning Commission recommended approval this week. The Black-owned restaurant plans to offer, quote, elevated soul food recipes based on African American dishes. They'll ask City Council for approval on November 27th. A New Hope resident received quite the honor recently. The National Weather Service presented Steve Reckers with the Benjamin Franklin Award for 55 years of service. As Corey Bork reports, his passion for weather developed at a young age.
It's not work for me because I really enjoy doing it.
Take a walk with Steve Reckers through his yard, and you can instantly sense his passion.
This is the one they put in '67.
That backyard weather station he obtained back when he was in his 20s.
There's free flow of air through it, and that's what they always used to use back before a lot of this automated equipment.
It allows him to record many measurements that he relays back to the National Weather Service as a volunteer weather observer.
At night I take the maximum, the minimum, the current temperature, any precipitation, any snowfall, the soil temperature.
Measurements he takes at 10:30 every night.
How you reset this is you spin it, and that forces that mercury back through this constriction.
Reckers says his love of weather began at a young age.
Since I was 4 or 5 years old, hoping for snow at this time of year.
His favorite childhood gift? An indoor-outdoor thermometer.
Greatest gift I ever had. Bike might be next and baseball glove after that.
His lifelong passion that resulted in the National Weather Service's Benjamin Franklin Award for 55 years of service.
Yeah, it felt good.
Just don't ask his family to follow suit.
I've been working on my grandkids, but none of them are terribly interested in it.
As it turns out, the 55th year was memorable in more ways than one.
Going back to last November, December, and then through the winter, I had 94 inches of snow, the most ever in this location, at least going back to 56 when records started here.
That followed by drought, then lots of rain. 2023 turned into a weather year for the ages.
Go figure. I mean, it's just an incredible year, and warm.
2024, he doesn't expect to be quite as crazy.
Last year was gangbusters. My back doesn't want to see that again this year.
In New Hope, Corey Bork.
Yeah, that was some year.
CCX News.
We asked Steve whether he ever wanted to be a meteorologist for a living. He says he considered it, but worked as a city planning consultant, a job he also enjoyed. Well, we all are familiar with the magical story of Cinderella from our childhood. For this week's Weekend Showcase, here's a look at Wayzata High School's production that gives the classic story a twist.
Number 10, please.
Inside the doors of Wayzata High School. The magical story everyone knows. Updated.
Anyone who's coming can look forward to a really, really good production.
She has real opinions about the world around her.
That man, a world leader, but he seems to have a heart, a mind, a soul.
This year's fall production is Cinderella.
What we want to see is all of you really, really loving what you do.
It's director Justin Spooner's first production with Wayzata Theater.
I'm really, really excited to be coming in. It's an incredible group of students and families that have made these productions come to life.
He says its story is magic.
That's the world could be.
Varsha Prashana, who plays Cinderella, says the story has unexpected depth.
I think the whole show has a message of hope and wanting better for yourself.
You are a good friend to Marie. How lucky she is to have a true friend such as you.
She says she hopes everyone else sees it too.
And I think Cinderella brings those feelings and like hopes and dreams to life.
The life, Spooner says, is all thanks to the cast.
They bring a lot of collaborative spirit and energy and compassion, and they support each other.
The dancing is beautiful and the music is gorgeous.
Rish Naik, who plays Prince Topher, says he brought himself into the character.
Just so I can relate to it and so that it's a little different.
The prince is giving
Cinderella is ultimately this message of hope, and I think that's the biggest message audiences should live with.
Spooner says tickets are going fast and recommends reserving a spot as soon as you can. The show runs this weekend and next weekend on Friday and Saturday.
Totino-Grace and Hutchinson squared off in week 3 of the regular season in football. The Eagles lost that game at home 20-3. On Thursday, TG got another crack at the Tigers, this time in the Class 4A state quarterfinals. Ches Moots has the highlights.
Totino-Grace, the winners of Section 4, won both of their section games by 27 or more points. Hutchinson, winners of Section 2, 27 was their average margin of victory in their 2 section wins. First quarter, Nathan Thody punches it in from 7 yards out, Hutch up 14-0. Start of the second quarter, TG faced with a 4th and 3. Eagles go with a counter. Markel Keaton springs it loose, running 31 yards for the touchdown. Big play to get TG back on track. Tigers looking to capitalize right before the half. In the red zone, Logan Butler rolls left, throws across his body and into the arms of Will Brands for the interception. TG gets a needed stop, down 20-6 at halftime. Third quarter, Tigers back on the ground. This time it's Carter Verhasselt spinning in for 6. Hutch starting to run away from the Eagles. Then to top things off, it's Thody again. The junior ran in 4 touchdowns. Hutch rolls over TG 44-12. The Eagles finish their season with a 7-4 record. In Lakeville, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
The Benilde-St. Margaret's football team was just 2-6 in the regular season against a tough schedule before winning the Section 5 4A title. They faced North Branch in the quarterfinals. Jay Wilcox has the highlights.
Benilde-St. Margaret's facing North Branch in the state Class 4A football quarterfinals. A wild start. After North Branch scores on the first play from scrimmage, Benilde's Sean Washington gets in as the Red Knights pull within 8-6 less than 3 minutes in. 3 minutes later, the Vikings hit the end zone again as Austin Anderson goes in for the 14-yard TD. Another 2-point conversion makes it 16-6 North Branch. Benilde's turn. Nirvan Yogaraja with a perfect strike to Jaden Daisy for the touchdown. It's 16-13 just 7 minutes into the game. Second quarter, and Anderson gets loose again. The Vikings' second TD of the quarter, and they go up 30-13. But Benilde rallies. Last play of the first half, and Daisy gets away with a Drew Pearson-like push-off for the touchdown grab. The Red Knights are within 30-20 at halftime. Early second half, and they pull closer yet. Washington breaks a 42-yard run on his way to a 168-yard night to make it 30-27. But it's North Branch ending Benilde's season with a 38-27 win. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
The Wayzata volleyball team is 1 win away from their second undefeated season in 3 years. After beating Edina Wednesday, the Trojans went for another sweep in the semifinals. The unbeaten Wayzata volleyball team looking for a spot in the state championship, facing 5th-seeded Inoka in the Class 4A semifinals Thursday morning. First set, the Tornadoes trying to attack on the left side, but Stella Swenson and Riley Kurth get up for the block. The Trojans lead 16-8. Later in the set, Stella Swenson sets the ball outside to her sister Olivia, who hammers it home for one of her match-high 14 kills. The Trojans go on to win the set 25-14. Second set, Chloe Lackas serving, and the Inoka overpass tipped down at the net by Avery Jesuits. 11 kills in the match for Jesuits. Coach Scott Jackson's team leads 6-1 early. Trojans play defense well. Jesuits with a great dig and pass from the back row up to Stella Swenson, all the way across to Olivia for a kill. Wayzata leads 13-7. Late in the set, Stella Swenson, the back set to Maggie Anderson, who cuts it across and down for a kill. Trojans take set 2, 25-13. And here's how the match ends. Katie Kelsenberg delivers the final point for one of her 7 kills on the day. Wayzata wins the third set 25-16. The Trojans are now 33-0. They face New Prague for the Class 4A Championship Saturday at 7 p.m. at the XL Energy Center. Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.